Laura was standing by her locker and getting ready for the first class in English when suddenly she heard a voice behind her. Morning, Laura. Laura turned around and saw it was Amy. Morning, Amy. Amy was Laura's best friend, and they have been best friends since the first grade. They also saw each other like sisters. They do anything together. They're almost never apart. So, what is your first class of the day? English. Yours? Math. You don't really like math, do you? Said Laura. No, you know me well. Well, you need to get to your math better because the last time you get your grade was like a C, and your parents was not happy about that. Yeah, I mean, a C is probably better than F though. Sure, but if you need any help with the homework or anything like that, I can always help you with that. I know. So Laura was actually not only a very good friend to Amy, but she was also very popular at the school. She was in fact a soccer player, but also the team leader of the school's soccer team. So, I heard it's gonna be a soccer team game soon. Yeah, it is. We're actually going to play against the neighbor school, and as you always believe, we win all the time," said Amy with a big smile. "Well, they're always trying their best to beat us. Well, they haven't happened like what? Once? Twice? Three times actually. But it was before even we started the high school. Yeah, you know, I'm sure ever since we started, or since you became the team leader of the soccer team, that is the reason why our school has always been winning." Sounds about right, said Laura. But as they were wanting to talk more, the bell rang. Oh, shoot. I don't want to get late for my first class, said Laura. You're always punctually. Well, so should you do too, said Laura with a smile. They gave each other a hug and said, I will see you at the lunch break. Sure do. Laura went to her first class in English. But as they were just about to start, when there was a knock on the door, it was actually Principal Victor, the school's principal. Oh, Principal Victor, what can I do for you? Said the teacher. I'm sorry if I'm interrupting for a moment, but I need a brief time to introduce something. Someone. Oh, sure. Then he let a young girl in. A girl was black, dark hair. Everyone, this is Amanda. She is a new transfer student here, and I really want everyone here to welcome her as with open arms and respect, as the school's policy as it stands for. So, and I would not like to have a volunteer to be willing to show her around at the school, but no one seems to be willing to be able to do that. Principal, I can do it, said Laura. Ah, Laura, I know I can count on you. Thanks. And after that, he left. So, Amanda, why don't you tell us something about yourself before the class, before we start? Said the teacher. Amanda was still a bit nervous, but she said her name was Amanda. She and her family had just moved to this new town because her dad has been offered a new position with a company that was he was working for, and that was it. Okay, you can sit over there behind Tammy. The teacher pointed, and Amanda said behind Tammy. After the class was over, the teacher gave Laura a piece of a note that if someone would stop her in the hallway, she would just show the note saying that she had the permission from her, the teacher, that she was also given the permission by the principal to skip a few classes if needed to show Amanda around. And Amanda was a little bit nervous even when Laura showed her around to the library, the nurse office, the principal's office, and a few other places. She tried to open up as much, but Amanda was still a bit quiet. So then she asked, "So, Amanda, how was your old school like?" "Oh, nothing, nothing as much important. Did you have? You must miss your friends back home." "Yeah, if I even had any friends back in old school." "Why? What happened?" "I was kind of a loner for the most part. I mean, I did had a few friends, but eventually all of them left me." "Why?" Laura asked. "I You don't have to tell me if you don't want to." Amanda looked at her a little surprised. "Really? I don't?" "No, because because I don't want to be forced you to tell me things that you don't want to. You know, this school actually has also a policy from against bullying. I would guess you were bullied a lot at your old school." "Wait, how do you know?" Um, it kind of like a sixth sense, like a feeling I have. But yeah, I was bullied a lot. And even though the principal back my old school tried to make it stop, but never did, they only went worse and worse. And my parents were getting worried about me. My grades was getting lower and lower, even though I tried to study as best I can. But then it came like a miracle to me when your dad was offered a new position at this company and was transferred here. Yeah, exactly. Wow. I mean, I cannot not even imagine but like being bullied a lot or even bullied at all. Uh, so, what about you? Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much a kind of popular girl here. Oh, but I was popular. Oh, not like that. I mean, I'm staff likes me and a lot of students like me. I mean, I'm always well liked and always help around. I mean, sometimes I help to tutoring other students on after with homeworks. I even help some of the staff after school. Oh, yeah, and I'm also the soccer player and the team leader with the school soccer team. "Oh wow, I didn't know that," said Amanda, but almost with a smile. "Yeah, you will get to like this school. And like I said, this school has a policy against bullying, so and if anyone would bully you, you should probably tell a teacher or the principal, and they will take care of the problem immediately. I can promise you that." Amanda smiled, and they continued their tour around the school. Around lunch break, Laura was sitting by the table with her friend Amy. Amy asked about this new girl that she heard about, and Laura didn't want to be telling too much, especially like too personal information about Amanda, but only like telling what she thought about her and that she is a little bit shy, a little bit worried how she would be welcomed to this new school because she was bullied a lot back in her old school. Wow, she was really bullied? Hmm. She were. I cannot even imagine. Me either. Oh, by the way, there she is. Oh, that's her? With the black hair? Yeah, that's right, her. And then Laura's like, "Amanda, over here." Amanda was walked over to the table, but as she was walking, suddenly she tripped and fell with her face right in the tray of smashed potato. And it's like, and someone laughed behind her. "Oh, look, you can't even walk straight." And that was Tammy, the same girl that Amanda sat behind in the first class of English. The girl Tammy was also known as a school bully. But the fact is, Tammy has never been caught, never been punished by anyone. She had actually been bullied a lot of students over through this and ever since she started high school. Tammy was also another old friend of Laura and Amy. Well, they went to the same school of middle school before high school. But ever since then, well, they weren't like close friends. They were like acquaintance. They could talk to each other from time to time, but ever since they started high school, Tammy changed. She was like she believed that that she was superior to most anyone. She thought that she was a popular girl, and that she deemed everyone as she was the one who claimed to say that there was rules that populars were should be popular people and nerds should be nerds, and that they were forbidden to even talk to any popular girls or guys or anyone. But there were no such rules. And despite that she was a bully, and then like Amanda told was told from Laura, there were no bullying at all. The school had an anti-bully policy. But how about is the reason why that Tammy was school bully never been punished? Well, the reason is why is that Tammy had been bullying some of the other students so much they were scared of her, and even if someone asked if they had been bullied, they would deny immediately because denial said that they were just tired or they have an accident, nothing else. So that is the reason why no teacher has never punished Tammy. So, you can't even see where you can go yourself on your own feet, huh? Raven? My name is Amanda. No, your name is Raven because your hair is black as a raven. I would probably call you Raven for this. But Laura, she stood up and said, Tammy, just back off. Oh, the savior of the new girl. Tammy, please. She's just new here. And you know the school has no bullying policy. Oh yeah, as if she's gonna do anything about it. No, but someday someone would, Laura said almost angrily. And Amy's like, Lord Tammy, just sit down and eat your lunch. Tammy was just laughed and said, Alright, as you wish. And then she sat down and talked with some of her other friends. Laura walked up to Amanda, held her up, and put off some of the food, and even offered some of her lunch waiting for her. Oh, but don't worry, I already had it eaten enough. Oh, thanks. Amanda, this is my best friend Amy. Oh, nice to meet you, said Amy with a smile. Same here, said Amanda a little bit quietly. Even during that lunch break, Amanda was just sitting almost silently. Even though Amy talked to her, but Amanda said mm-hmm, yes, or no for much answers. Even though that Amy said that she knew what happened, but in her previous school, Amanda looked at Laura and know that she knew, and she was hoping that that was okay. But Amanda said, "Mm-hmm." And then after that, things started to look a little bit better for Amanda because a few days afterwards, she actually had made a few friends, and seemed to be looking really bright for her. But it wasn't until Tammy had marked Amanda as her new target, as a new victim of her bullying. But since Amanda was already had been experienced of bullying, this time Tammy had no easy target because some of the bullying that Amanda went through back in old school, some of the things is that what Tammy was doing towards her this time. But this time, Amanda didn't budge at all. Tammy did notice this and thought maybe she had to take the whole new level. And she was doing this and calling her stupid, ugly, that no girls but never going to be with her, or any guys but be with her. And she even made a secret admire note posted in her and in Amanda's locker. That was that was about a month after she started the school. Amanda's lighted up because she never experienced this. And according to the note, meet me at the park at 3 p.m. on Friday. Your secret admirer. Amanda was really excited. So she went to the park, waited, and waited, and waited, and waited, and waited. Almost an hour were waiting by a bench, she realized the supposed secret admirer wasn't coming. She thought maybe that this secret admirer had stood up. So when she went home, she was devastated because she maybe thought that someone actually now likes her more than as a friend. But the very next day, when she came back to the school, it was clearly a setup of Tammy. Because when she was walking in and like, oh, you're waiting for your secret admirer for an hour at the park and never showed up because it never exists. Tammy laughed and other people just looked at him. No other students didn't even laugh. Only Tammy's best friend, Bianca. Bianca and Tammy were only ones laughing. Good one, Tammy. Good one, said Bianca. Bianca and Tammy laughed as Amanda just ran off from that and she went to school restrooms. Later that same day, Laura, who had heard about this from Amy, would have heard from other students. She did what? Yeah, Laura was not happy. She was really angry about this. Well, we should tell the principal. Yeah, I don't think that's much going to do much about it, said Amy. Amy had a point. Despite knowing that Tammy was the one who actually gave or put this secret admired note on Amanda's locker, but since the meeting was supposed to be at the local park, it was way not even close to school, which means there was nothing the principal could have done. And even if the principal or any of the teachers had asked her about it, she would deny that she had nothing to do with this secret admirer meeting paper note. And if they had asked Bianca, the same thing. She would have denied any involvement. And for that, there was nothing that they could done about it. Even though Amanda was shocked, terrified, well, more like as devastated. Laura and Amy both were really much angry about this. But they both realized there was nothing else no one at the school can do. So they put that behind them. Because now they had to focus on something else, especially Laura. She had to focus on the upcoming soccer game, which were just in a week. After school was over that day, Laura went to the coach to talk with him and a few other team members about this new strategy they had to focus on. After about maybe almost 2 hours, Laura went home and she went decided to just skip going home when she get a call from her brother Peter. Peter, what's that? Yeah. Can you maybe go to the store? I know that you're on your way home, but is it possible you can just stop by the store to buy some bread and some butter for breakfast? Yeah, sure. Anything else? Maybe if you can buy some energy drinks for me? Yeah, sure. No problem. Thanks. So she went to the store and bought the things that was needed. And when she were at the store, she actually ran into Amanda. Oh, hey Amanda. Oh, Laura? So I heard what happened, and I noticed Tammy is the one behind it. Yeah, I know. But it was something else that Amanda had in her mind. But she didn't say anything what it was about, since Laura didn't even notice it. So what brings you here? Oh, my mom asked me if I can buy some milk. That's much. You? My brother asked me to buy some items, and oh, you had an older brother? Yeah. He is about 2 years older than me. Oh, yeah. So, do we have any siblings? No, only child. Oh, I cannot even imagine that like. Well, maybe not constant fighting. Well, me and my brother, we barely fight that much at all. unless we are fighting over who's gonna win in the game. Game? Well, video games. Ah, gotcha. After this small brief conversation, Laura went home and Amanda went home herself. And about a week later, at this soccer game, Laura actually had invited Amanda as her guest for the game. Everyone else was there, cheering for the game. Come on, beat the school, beat the other team, said everyone at the on the benches. Unfortunately, it was not the best time because this opposite school did win against Laura's and her team. But they were not mad at it because they actually said to the opposite team, well, you really get us a good resistance this time. Next time, we will beat you. Huh. Bring it on, Laura, said the other team and other team player. But they were actually this more as a friendly competition, not as a big school competition. But a few days after the game, on a Monday, things started to look a little bit different because as Laura was standing by her locker, Amy walked up to her like, Laura, yeah, have you heard? What? The supposed rumors walking around the school. What kind of rumor? It says that Amanda is a lesbian, that she is much into girls. That I didn't know. But who did you hear from that from? A few other students actually. Did they tell you who was telling this from the start? No. But let me guess. Tam, said Laura. Yeah, that was my first suspicion as well, because nothing like this has ever happened. Well, I mean, Tammy has spread rumors before, but this was really devastating. And as Laura and Amy was talking, they heard that some people were talking and they saw Amanda. And before Laura could even walk up to Amanda and talk to her, oh, here goes this girl's lesbian! Woohoo! Have you found your new lover yet? Said Tammy, laughing, and Bianca's like, yeah, have you found her yet? And Amanda just took off running, and this time Laura and Amy had enough. Amy's like, you two should not spreading rumors. We spreading rumors? Said Bianca. We never spread any rumors. We heard from other people. Yeah, that's right, said Tammy with a big smile, laughing out off. Yeah. Amy? Yeah? Just forget it, said Laura. What? But do you know this doesn't matter, right? Said Laura, and she just walked off, and she followed after Amanda. Amanda ran off to the girls' restroom, and Amanda, can I talk to you? It's me, Laura. But Amanda was just crying. How can people even accept assume me be that? Well, I mean, knowing that, but I noticed Tammy or Bianca would spread the rumors, said Amanda cryingly. I didn't know. I'm prone to say to my parents that I'm leaving this school. This was really devastating because Laura was actually happy to see that Amanda was just getting along with the school. She had many friends, but this was really out of the character. I mean, if I ask, is it true you're a lesbian? No, I'm not a lesbian, but I'm bisexual. There was silence. Can I tell you something? Yeah, this is something only that Amy knows, said Lord Abbott silently. She made sure there was no one else in the restaurant or outside. And then she said, I'm bisexual too. Wait, you are? Yeah. Oh. So you and me and Amy? No, Amy is like a sister to me. You know, I've always wondered if I will ever find the right guy or the right girl to be with. But this is really something that Amy told me once, that you will find the right person that you want to be with. Even if it's like a big mystery or someone you will rescue. Wait, he said that? Said Amanda, but was almost laughing. Yeah, I know this sounds crazy, but in a way, she might be right though. Oh? Yeah, I mean, one day I may find someone. I just, I really don't know who or when or how. You know, same here. I mean, back in my old school, that was the among the things that people find out that I was bisexual and they call me stupid names that was too ugly that no girl or guy would even want to date me because of how I would look. But Amanda was silent. You know, to me, you're not that ugly at all. In fact, you're actually one of the most beautiful girls I ever seen here at the school. And Amanda was just still in the booth, blushing, and she asked, "What, are you serious?" Yeah, I am actually. Then Amanda opened the door, and she was still blushing. You know, I kind of like you more as a friend, said Amanda. She was like peeking around the corner of the door. Oh? Yeah. I can't understand why people like Tam like doing this. You know, we had to figure out one way or another to prove that she was the one that's been bullying you. But how? No other students have ever want to be doing that. Yeah, that's true. Wait, I have an idea. Tammy is gonna be getting this big time, said Laura. You know what? I think this might work. They were talking about a plan how to bust, expose Tammy as the bully. That same afternoon, before before the two last classes lessons was over, Tammy was in the hallway when Amanda just walked by, and she was alone. And what she didn't know, Amanda was actually having her phone in her chest pocket, recording when it happened. Oh, Amanda, or no, wait, Raven, isn't it? How does it feel to be the school's lesbian that no girl guy will ever date? Is the most ugliest girl ever. Tammy turned around and a big smile and said, "You know, Tammy, I don't even bother to even listen to you anymore because those words doesn't even hurt me anymore." Tammy was stunned. She was expecting maybe that Amanda would just react to screaming or anything. You know, I don't even care anymore what you're saying. Sure, even if I'm lesbian or bisexual, I will even find someone who will date me because I am at least honest about I am. Unlike you, you're the school's bully. You have been step bullying tons of other students to make them so scared that they didn't want to be reporting back towards any of the teachers or the principal. Just admit it. You did it, didn't you? Yeah, so as if as what? No one would want to even believe a single word you said. Ah, well, you may not be right about that, said Amanda. Oh yeah, by the way, you look good today. Uh, thank you? I mean, I want to be nice to you at least. And then Amanda turned around and just walked off. That was really something that Tammy was not expected as answer, but at least Amanda, Laura had the evidence. Just before the end of the last class, both Amanda and Laura was waiting in the hallway and said, "Did you get it?" "Yeah, good. Let's go to the principal on Friday." "On Friday?" "Yeah, I mean it's Thursday today, and It's unlike we have enough time. Yeah, okay, let's do that. They also had informed Amy about this plan. And Amy was like, oh, she is getting for ready for this one. Yeah, we should probably be there. I just wonder how her parents will react when they find out what she did. Yeah, that's something I don't even know what to know, said Amanda. After this, the next day, after, after the last class around 2 p.m., Laura and Amanda went to the principal's office and knocked on the door, and the principal's um, secretary opened the door. It's like, oh, Laura, what can I do for you? Yeah, is it possible we can have a meeting with Principal Vector by any chance? Let me see if I can. And then the secretary pushed a button and asked the principal if he had a moment since both Laura and Amanda was outside. They didn't want to talk to him about something. Oh yeah, let them in. I don't have any things planned right now, so yeah, I don't mind. So, Laura and Amanda, what can I do for you? Amanda was a little bit nervous still, but Laura, she was much calm and outgoing person, so she had no problems. Like, Principal Victor, we have a kind of a situation here at the school. Oh, yeah, we have a bullying problem. A bullying problem. Please. And then you said the point I'm about to sit down, and Amanda was she was still much quiet, but thanks to Laura's outgoing personality, she revealed it. The principal sit there, had his arm crossed, sit there, but then he had his arm crossed and was like curious. And then he was, this is very serious accusations, Laura. You know that. But do you have any evidence? Yes, I do. And then she presented her phone, which Amanda had borrowed. And the principal saw the whole recording. And as his eyes get widened and widened, and he was really stunned. I cannot believe this, he said. Since this school has its non-bullying policy, how many students has she been doing this to? He asked. I cannot say exactly how many, but the last time I may wonder, maybe it's 12 or 15 students. The principal's eyes got even bigger. 12 and 15 students? He almost screamed. That's correct, Prince Victor. This is serious. And then he pushed a button and asked Senator Secretary to send in to have Tammy and Bianca to come over. And Secretary said, yeah, I will do that. Both Tammy and Bianca were in a class at the time, and Laura said, you probably would probably have their parents over here when it happens, so they also understand the seriousness of this. Good thing they asked, said that. I will do that, said the principal. Thank you. So Laura and Amanda thanked him and they both left. They went into their last class, but as they were later in the hallway after the last class, they were near the principal's office and they's like, they can actually overhear almost anything what happened in the principal's office, even behind his closed door. And based upon what they heard later from the principal himself, they was like, girls, it had brought me attention that you two had been bullying a number of students at this high school. Is that correct? Both Tammy and Bianca just looked at each other like, no, we never bullying anyone. Both almost at the same time. But if anyone that says that we have, is a liar. I mean, there's no one actually been telling me or anyone has said it. And even if there's a serious accusation, isn't it? Principal? Said Tammy. Yes, it is. But I actually have this quite a good evidence, he said. And then he showed them both the recording that Amanda did. And their faces almost went pale. Principal, that's probably staged. That's staged. And she recorded me without my permission. She probably would even have allowed it. But then there was a knock on the door. Then the secretary opened this with a crack and said, Principal, they are here. Ah, yes, let them in. And as Tammy and Bianca turned around and saw their parents, they went even more pale. Their parents was not happy with it, especially Tammy's parents. They were much against the bullying themselves. So, Mrs. and Mrs., please. Then they were also allowed to see the recordings, and Tammy's father was so angry, and he literally screamed, and it made the secretary jump, according to what she said afterwards, but she informed others. Tammy, what in the world? We thought we taught you better than this. Tammy's mom was terrified, not because of her husband's screaming, but of Tammy's behavior. You really hurt this girl. Well, what is your defense? He screamed almost angrily. Dad, they're lying. Tammy, you telling me this girl, among other students that you have been bullied, lies? Yes! I'm always a good student. I mean, always had almost A and B's. And why this? Bianca, please, you tell me, is this really true? Bianca was always a loyal friend to Tammy. But seeing Tammy's father in front of her, this angry move was not what she is common to see, but she knew Tammy's father's anger was not to play around with, and it somehow cracked her loyalty to Tammy, and she's like broke down. It's like, yes, everything is true. We actually did it. Bianca! Tammy screamed out. You keep quiet, Tammy, said Tammy's father. Bianca, please, he said a little bit calmly. And then Bianca revealed every single thing what they had been doing for other students, including Amanda. I can't believe it. Tammy, you will have serious consequences, punishment when you get home. But, principal, we take our responsibility to punish our daughter. As so do we, said Bianca's parents. But that, the principal only had one final offer or option to do. Bianca, Tam, this, if this has been used, had been happened just once, I would have given you a warning. But having this information brought to me, 15 other students, including this young girl, Amanda, I have no other option but expelling you both from this high school. Tammy and Bianca just had almost their hearts sank in their chest. Expel? Said Tammy, almost terrified. But you can't do that, said Bianca. All this has to always be Tammy's idea. I didn't even want to do it. You always had the opportunity to leave this, but always went along with it, said the principal. My word is final. And then the girls looked at their parents and they were like, serves you right, said Tammy's dad. This is the serious punishment. And as they were all students heard of some of this, including when Tammy was walking out all with her parents and with Bianca with her parents, Amy, Amanda, and Laura. They were standing on the parking lot and saw this. I saw the pair of the girls were just walking out and they felt so ashamed that even looked at them. You think they took it well? Asked Amy. I doubt it, said Laura. But they got what they deserved. I mean, having bullying out this is it won't be surprising if the other students will come forward soon enough. And Laura was actually right though, because just only about a day after all this happened, the other 15 students that Tammy and Bianca had been bullied came forward to the principal. They told them almost identical circumstances what Tammy and Bianca did to them. But they were mostly right though. They were mostly Tammy's idea. Bianca just went along with it. But despite that, Bianca and Tammy were expelled. And what happened that Amy learned something about Tammy and Bianca. They were sentenced to a school of troublemaker kids. And that was the last thing anyone ever heard of Tammy and especially Bianca. Amy, she was just happy all this problem has been taken care of. She was like, this is really good thing, isn't it? Yeah, it is, said Laura. I mean, this is a whole new day, a whole new time, a new age for the school. This is really this going to show you that the school doesn't doesn't not playing around when it comes to being bullies. Since the school has a bullying policy, and in fact, the very same of this next week, the principal held a meeting in a gym class for the whole school. Dear students, as you all know, both your former classmates Bianca and Tammy have been expelled for this school because they broke the most important policy in this school has, the non-bullying policy rule. A lot of students nodded and so much said, "You go, principal!" I hear your spirit. But seriously, this is something that I cannot tolerate, he said. If any other students have been bullied by anyone else, you have your voice here. Always. You can always come to me or any other staff. Trust me, we take it really serious about this matter. Because we cannot stand to see one of our bright students being bullied by anyone. So for this day on, I will make sure that this non-bullying policy is upheld by everyone. And make sure that every single student, new ones to as the older ones, as a staff, to always remember this. As this happened, I will also make an exception for this. The principal said, if you had been bullied one of your students once, I will give you a warning. But if you continue to do this, as Tammy and Bianca did, you will be expelled permanently. Thank you. That was all I want to say. And every other students actually gave a cheering to the principal who had been standing with those beliefs. And it didn't take long for the other students to find out what actually happened. They actually felt that Amanda was brave enough. Even though she's still a shy person, but she even got tons of new friends, along especially many of those who had also been a victim of Tammy and Bianca. As the time went on, almost everyone had forgotten about what had happened. But just barely 2 weeks after that both Tammy and Bianca was expelled, Laura actually walked up to Amanda when she was by her locker and asked, um, Amanda, yeah? Do you do you remember when I told you back in the restroom a couple of weeks ago. Um, of me being, oh, yeah, yeah, what about it? I would like to ask you something. Oh, what is it? Do you want to go out with me? Amanda stood there, dumbfounded, a little bit surprised, but she smiled and said, yeah, I would like that. And it didn't take long for the whole school to find out that Amanda was actually bisexual and that Laura, the popular girl, the team player, the team leader for the school's soccer team, was bisexual. But Noah had no problems with it because, as Laura had also suggested the principal that the school should support any students or staff who is either bisexual, gay, or even straight or even lesbian, no matter what they are believing. And the principal actually agreed on that. That was became another policy. And Laura was actually happens to be happy that this new policy is going to be one of her legacies in the future of this particular school. Amanda and Laura, they actually went on their first date to the movies. They were just happy. They were just happy to have it be on their first official date. But it didn't make them official couple yet. They decided to see first if this could be something between them. But after about maybe a couple of weeks, they actually made it official. Both Tammy and Bianca was no longer on their minds. But Amanda, she was just happy that found tons of new friends. Well accepted, well accepted by both staff and other students. And also to have this quite amazing girlfriend in her life. Even Laura, she could have been happier to find someone like Amanda. Even Amy of all, she was quite happy for her best friend to have found someone like herself. Even when Laura came home from school after that Amanda made it official when she told her parents about her being bisexual and that she has a girlfriend from school, they were not surprised because they kind of had the feeling that their daughter was special. But her brother, though, he was quite happy. He was like, so, sis, when is the wedding between you and Amanda? Peter, we've just been dating for a couple of weeks and you are now start talking about marriage? Hey, it's my duty to mess around you, isn't it? Ah, but yeah, I mean, if it is quite serious, who knows? Maybe might end up marrying Amanda one day. How about this? I mean, how about you actually invite Amanda over for dinner with your family, with your parents, so they can meet her for once? You know, that's not a bad idea. I might just ask her that. That same evening, Laura actually called up Amanda. Hey, sweetie. Oh, hey, Amanda. Laura. Yeah. What's up? I have a question for you. Oh, what is it? Do you? Never mind. Come on, you can tell me anything. Well, my brother had this idea if you probably would be coming over for dinner, but well, just with my family so they can introduce you to them and so they get to come to know you and yeah, I would like that. Wait, are you serious? Yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, you already had dinner with my family. Yeah, that's a good point. Um, what sounds about Friday, 6 p.m.? Yeah, my mom will bring me over though. Yeah, sounds good. And Laura told her parents about this, and they were actually very supportive since they were happy about Laura have found Amanda as her first official girlfriend. And even as the day went on and on, the day pain came and went, Laura was still a bit nervous how there's the first meeting, official meeting with her parents, that Amanda's gonna meet her parents for dinner. But the same thing is when Amanda had invited Laura to meet her parents for dinner. It was kind of the same way. So Laura decided why not just act calm, act serious, act naturally. And as the week came and almost over, but on Friday 6 p.m. there was a knock on the door, and Laura's brother Peter's like, "Ah, Miss Lord Amanda, isn't it? Yeah, you must be Peter, right? That's me. So, this must be the time of the year. Time of the year? Yeah, to be friendly. I just messing around with you. Yeah, Laura did mention that her brother is how to say, a big goofball. She called me a goofball. Her words, not mine. Laura says, Amanda smiled. Anyways, come in. Thanks. And then he's like, Amanda, Laura, your lady's here. He screamed. I'll be down in a minute. She screamed back down. So, let's see. My parents either is on their way home from their work or the store. They had to go buy something. So, tell me about yourself, Amanda. Um, well, Laura probably had told you a lot of things about me already. That's true. Just so, how do you felt about all this when Tammy and Bianca, all that stuff happened? I mean, I want you to hear from your side. I was devastated to know that Tammy and Bianca have been doing this quite some time to include other students that, and no one actually never punished her for that. I was pretty shocked. But when I find out that the reason that they had terrified those students so that they wouldn't even report her to the principal or other teachers, yeah, I mean, I know that Laura's always been it's like the protector. She's like a guardian. She doesn't care what other boys says. She is always there for anyone, no regardless what they are, if they're what their beliefs are, or what what they believe in, or what gender they attracted towards. I agreed. I have always believed. I always looked up to Laura, even though but I older than her. But to me, she's my true hero. I cannot even imagine like how things been otherwise if she hasn't been this brave. You know, not only because that she is a team leader of the school's soccer team. I had never been imagined how things have been like for her. I mean, sure, she can always be a little bit bossy, a goofball, but she is always standing where who she believes in, protects those in need. And she is right behind me, isn't she? Yeah, she is. Uh, Laura, how much did you hear? Laura was like, pretty much everything, Peter. Oh my god, he said. Yeah, I know you're a goofball, but to be fair, Peter, appreciate it. And to be honest, you kind of have to say that it's your way. You're responsible. Wait, what? What do you mean? You're the one who's responsible for teaching me how to stand up for myself, protect those in need, help my friends, no matter what else. In a way, your has always been there. I mean, you did the same for me when I was younger. You don't remember that? Of course I do. And he was right. Your sister is right, though. What? You were the one. If you had even been like this to been teaching her to being her to stand for herself, defend others. If you never been teaching her that, I may not even been here. Me and Dan, me and Laura may not having been together. Tammy and Bianca may still not been at the students at school like a team of bullies. So in a way, Peter, it's a big thanks to you. Wow. I mean, if you look at it that way, I never thought about it. Well, it's true though, isn't it, bro? You've always been there, and for that I'm always appreciated. Really happy to have such big brother like you, and always been there for me. And I know our parents probably the same thing. Yeah, that's true. And soon enough, both their parents actually did show up, and they were happy to meet Amanda for first, well, not the first time, but more as officially at their home. And Laura went to help her mom with the cooking, with the food, while Laura's dad and Peter held Amanda's company. They were just small talking, and they watched some TV until dinner was ready. Things looked actually quite happy for between them because even during dinner, both Laura's parents did ask some of questions to Amanda, like what she had in mind of her future, what she wanted to be doing, and just what she thought about seeing herself doing for the next 10 years or the next 20 years. Just a little bit more like a normal chit chat. And Laura, she couldn't have been happier to seeing how her parents were much enjoying Amanda's company. And as the time went on, both her parents just happy to meet. Well, not the first time, but they were just happy to have to be in spend some time with Amanda. That same evening, it was the time for her to go home. Laura gave Amanda a big hug and a kiss and said that this night, this dinner went really great. Then Laura said, maybe we can go out again. Again? Yeah, tomorrow. Maybe to the movies? Yeah. What time? 5 p.m.? Sounds great. They gave each other a big hug and a kiss, and Laura said goodbye to Amanda, who went out to her mom's car. But there was a lot of other things that happened between them. I mean, Amanda was just happy to have found her true love. And Laura, she was just happy that this time of Tammy and Bianca's reign of terror was finally over, and that she had finally found someone that she can actually be with. She couldn't even see herself a possible future with Amanda. Getting married, maybe had the potential to start a family together one day, and it just it looked bright for her. The next day, though, she went to the movies by her own car, and she was waiting for at the movies for Amanda, and her mom was supposed to drive her off or drop her off at 5 p.m. Amanda's mom actually did that, but she had to cross the street. But as they were happening, a car came running towards Amanda. And it all happened in almost a flash, but it felt almost eternity in slow motion. Because Laura could see the car was swerving to sides and at high speed, and even this was a crossroad. Aside from it was even a red light, but the driver was clearly under influence of either drugs or alcohol. But as Laura saw this just happen in front of her eyes, the car hit Amanda and she flew up the car's hood and up on the ground. And the driver, he later kept run driving and hit a tree nearby, passing out as well. Seeing it happen in front of Laura's eyes, she was devastated. And not only that, Amanda's mom saw it happen from the car and she was petrified of fear. There were people on the street, on the sidewalk, and suddenly Laura started screaming, screaming of fear and of sadness. Because in front of her was Amanda. She was laying on the ground, not moving. She turned around and said to the people, call for 911 immediately. Call for an ambulance. And as Amanda was just laying on the ground, Laura ran up to her and just tried to see if she was even breathing or not. But luckily for her, one of the past bystanders was actually an off duty nurse. And she ran up to Laura and Amanda and she was like, don't worry, I'm a nurse. I can make sure that she's okay before the ambulance arrives. But but Amanda or Laura, she didn't even hear that because she was in such fear. She was in this such shock as like every single word around her was like not non-existent. She couldn't even hear a single word. All she had in her mind, please, Amanda, be safe, be safe. But no one knows for sure. As a lot of people arrived to help them around, and there were even some people that actually went over to see the driver and they passed in the car, clearly passed out. But as one of the people there said, yeah, he is clearly under the influence of alcohol. And this sure enough, there were a lot of bottles in the car as well when the police came and arrested the guy. Turns out he had been drinking so much that he was way over the speed limit, that over the the limit of drinking. But Amanda, Laura, she was not focused on even anything else about Amanda. As Amanda was still lying on the ground, bleeding and shallow breathing, she believed maybe that she could have internal bleedings. And she demanded that the ambulance arrive as fast as they could. She couldn't have this. She couldn't even have the feeling of being losing her only girlfriend for the first time. She demanded the ambulance arrive as fast as they could, but the nurse said, they will be here in a minute. I will try to keep her stable as much as possible. But the police asked Amanda, or at least Laura, all kinds of things, details, what happened. But Laura couldn't even give them anything because she didn't even hear police. Because she was just only focused only one thing in the front of her, Amanda. Even though the police had taken her to side to ask her some questions, but it was pointless. She didn't even give them a single word. But they noticed that Amanda's mom was still in the car, were at least in the car, but when they saw the police, she ran up to them and said that is her daughter and that she saw it all happen. She gave them the statement of what happened, and they asked her why she was even in the town because she explained that Amanda, her daughter, was supposed to meet up with her girlfriend Laura for the movies for a date, and that she was dropping her off. And when as she was walking across the street, when this car just showed up in high speed and hit her. After the shock wore off for Laura, she confirmed everything. She was taken off back by this one of the EMTs and the ambulance said that this is not looking good. One of the others said like she has a miracle if she even survived this. If she survived this. She heard. Amanda was like laying on the stretcher, but Laura said before they closed the doors, you save her, please. She was crying of big tears. As Amanda's mom was hugging her, just trying to comfort her. They demand to know exactly which hospital they were going to, so they can follow. They told her, and they did follow after, right after. And at the hospital, Amanda's mom had just called her husband on the phone as he was at work, and he was like, "Yeah, what is it, honey? Whoa, come on, what is the matter? Hey, Amanda, hit my car. What? Wait, are you serious?" She said, "Yes, she's in the hospital right now." Okay, where is she? Which hospital? I will be there as soon as possible. And then she mentioned the name, and he said, "Okay, I will be there like in 10 minutes." And then he hung up. Laura had called Amy, and Amy was like, she was in her bed watching some TV. Was like, "Oh, I thought you were on a date with Amanda. She's in hospital." Whoa! What? Laura, calm down. But Laura was just so devastated, she couldn't even bring a single word. When suddenly, Amanda's mom grabbed the phone and calmly as possible said and explained everything to her. "Oh my god, do you know anything about? No, we hadn't even been told yet," said Amanda's mom. And then she said, "If you can possibly call Laura's parents." "Yeah, yeah, yeah, of course, I can do that." So Amy, which was a good friend to Laura's parents, told them all what happened. They were afraid that even Laura was hit by the car, but Amy explained only Amanda was. But at the time, when her Laura's parents showed up, Tam, Amanda's dad had already arrived. But that was then when they would find out how serious this condition were. As Laura predicted, Amanda had serious internal bleedings, a very serious condition. She was not sure if they would even survive. Not only that, not only the internal bleedings, but a very severe concussion, several broken ribs, a punctured lung, and it wasn't looking good. The doctors told them that this wasn't a good chance that she may not even survive. Hearing those words made Amanda's parents, especially her mom and Laura, just falling on their knees on the ground, on the floor, crying their hearts out. Couldn't even believe it. This was supposed to be their just normal date. When all this happened, they were sitting in the waiting room for hours after hours. It was not like almost in the 5 in the morning when a doctor walked out in the waiting room. Almost every one of the families were asleep. But when Laura saw the doctor, "How is she?" That statement made the others wake up immediately, especially Amanda's parents. "She has been moved to ICU. Is she's gonna be okay?" Amanda's mom asked. "At the moment, we're not sure. She had this a very severe condition. If she had brought in her, perhaps even a little bit later, she would not have survived. But her condition is stable, but very critical at the moment. So for the next 12 hours, we will know if she will survive or not. Can we? Unfortunately, no. She needs her rest. I would suggest that you go home and come back tomorrow." "But we demand to see her," said her mom. But Laura, she was now at least more calm to know that her girlfriend was at least safe, but even though that was critical. We we should listen to the doctor." "What?" "We should listen to him. She needs her rest. It it's not worth it to make it hurt, to make it all things worse." Amanda's mom realized that Laura had a point. All right, but doctor, yes, please call us if anything happens, even a slight change. Please, I beg you. Of course. Both the families left, but they never actually went back to the hospital for the next couple of days. Because Amanda's parents could not even stand to see their only daughter hooked up to some machines, but Amanda, or Laura, herself, she wanted to. But each time as she was about to walk to the door, it somehow stopped her from doing it. It wasn't until Peter, it wasn't until Peter, her old brother, took her in his car to the hospital. They were only allowed to stay for only a brief time because she needed her time to rest. It seems that she was hooked up to the machine for almost forever. Even at each time when Amanda's parents or Laura showed up asking the nurse or the current doctor for any further update of her condition or if that's she's going to survive. But it was almost basically the same answer. They didn't know. She hadn't even waken up yet. Despite the fact that most of her injuries was so severe, it was a miracle that she didn't die in an impact, said the doctor. That would have been at least something that she wouldn't have to suffer. But they also asked if there's going to be any permanent injuries afterwards, or any side effects, like memory loss or brain damage or something. But according to the latest doctor, there was no signs of any brain injuries that much, except for the concussion. But the doctor said at least that was a piece of positive news. But he said that she might be in this coma for a couple of weeks at most. And he was right. After nearly 4 weeks, about a month in a coma, Amanda's parents received a call, and Amanda's parents called Laura. It's like, yeah, Laura, Amanda's awake. What? Are you serious? Yes. So Laura asked her parents to drive her to the hospital, which they did, even though she had her own car, but she was so nervous, so she didn't want to drive, which her parents understood. And sure enough, Amanda was awake. Even though she was still critical condition, even despite a month recovery, she was still very much tired. Even though that they had just taken her off from life support, but she was still tired. But she was just happy that to see her parents, but especially Laura. And she asked what happened and how long she has been out. Her mom said, "You have been out for about a month, sweetie." A month? Yes, it's about right. But what happened? You don't remember? No. Only remember it was just we were on a date and everything went black quite quickly. Well, I heard this car, but that's pretty much it. And me waking up here. But then Laura's parents explained to her what happened. She could not believe it. She had nearly died at the moment. Laura told Amanda that she will always be there for her no matter what. And even now that Amanda had woken up, but she was not allowed to leave the hospital for at least a quite a while because despite now she had made at least a positive recover from that. She probably will need a lot more some extended surgery to get recovered some of the most broken bones and like that. And turns out she even had a broken leg. But that was also in a cast and it might have even been fully recovered. Laura had asked when was it possible for Amanda to be able to leave the hospital permanently. The doctor said perhaps within the next couple of weeks at most. Maybe less. Depends on how fast her recovery is going. And of course, Amanda's parents was kept updated by the doctor almost every single day about her recovering of her condition. And it was a slow process for sure, but it was a good one because the love for her was strong. Even Amanda had asked what happened to the guy who actually drove in the car. Lorna told her that shortly afterwards he actually got arrested for drunk driving and a tad drive over a person almost died, even though that was not on purpose. But turns out he got at least about 15 years in jail for this. This was not his first time of drunk driving, apparently. But at least Laura was happy that he was behind bars at the time and that Amanda was getting recovered. She visited Amanda every single day, even after school. And even when she had practice, she had to ask coach if it's possible for her to leave to skip training or once or twice, which the coach agreed on. But Amanda told her not to doing much to skipping things about because of her. But Amanda was told for Laura that no matter what, if even if she meant that even it meant that she had been kicked out of the soccer team, she would still be there. And after about another few more weeks, Laura was happy to hear that Amanda was allowed to leave the hospital, this time for going home. But she was not allowed to go back to school for another than a couple of weeks because she had to make sure that she made a full recovery. But Laura was told also from her Amanda's parents during the time when she was going to be away, Amanda's going to get a tutor, a homeschooling meantime, which was not a bad thing to do. But after time, Amanda had made a full recovery, and after time, she was very much welcome back to school. And every student there had also been seeing her at the hospital and just happy to see that she had made a full recovery. They could have been happier because this was something that they were terrified. But after a while, though, Amanda and Laura, their their relationship just remained strong. Even Amy, even Amy was just happy to see that Amanda had made a full recovery because seeing her own best friend Laura in such stage of devastation, sadness was shocking. But to seeing her this happy that seeing Amanda full recovered was the best thing that had happened. And sure enough, Amanda and Laura's relationship just remains stronger and stronger for each single day. And despite what happened, they love each other more than anything. And after they have finished both high school, they were just happy to think of is the next step in their life. Both decided to go to two different colleges apparently, but they always met back home for holidays, and it was just a good time because their relationship remained stronger even despite being separate. Even though they couldn't meet each other as much as they wanted to, or even could FaceTime on social media for as much as either. But at least they have each other's face that they will one day be forever together. After they finished college, they both moved back to their hometown. And Laura, she actually had returned home with a teacher degree. She actually had been studying to be a teacher. And she was even offered a position as a teacher at her old high school, which she accepted. Laura, she was just happy to now be part of the same school that she was once part of. Amanda, she was actually started working for a local pet store because she loved animals. She loved so much animals. Around the time when they actually had got their new jobs, they actually got even a small apartment together in town. and they just have a great time. Despite what happened all those years ago, Amanda and Laura, they were just happy. And 6 years and on their 6 years anniversary together, Laura proposed to Amanda, and Amanda said yes immediately. They wanted to have a small, close wedding, but Laura, she wouldn't mind if they had a big church wedding, but they didn't have the finance for that. But luckily, though, Peter and both their sides of families agreed to help them with that, and they did, and they were just happy to see this. And as a big gift for both Laura and Amanda, they were given a special honeymoon gift. They were given 1 week on Hawaii from Peter. Tammy was Laura was so happy that she gave her big brother such a big hug and almost cracked his ribs like, "Oh, dude, what's this?" But he didn't mind. And after a while, though, on their honeymoon, both Laura and Amanda had such great time swimming in the ocean, doing a lot of sightseeing, just having an amazing time. They couldn't have been happier. And then, after they had been married for 2 years, they wanted to start a family. Luckily, though, they actually had a friend who was willing to help them with that. And Tammy, Laura, Laura decided that she wanted to be pregnant first. She did that, and she named their first daughter Amy. And Amy, afterwards named after her best friend, also became Amy's godmother. And only about 3 years later, Amanda had a baby, which they have a son, which they named John, after Amanda's grandfather. Both Amanda and Laura couldn't be happier. Despite what they went through back in high school with Tammy, Bianca attacking, bullying Amanda so many times. But she stood strong, especially after having Laura by her side the whole time. And after finding out, after being responsible for having both Tammy and Bianca expelled from school for a good reason. But despite that, and despite what happened to Amanda after being hit by that drunk driver nearly cost her life, and seeing how Laura was nearly such devastated state, she was really shocked. She was almost believing she was going to lose Amanda. But both Amy and Peter, her own brother, told her not to give up hope. Keep hoping. Keep praying. Keep hoping. That was the best options. Also the best comfort words. And sure enough, the patience, the praying, the hopes. Amanda made a full recovery. She couldn't be happy with that. Because she could not even imagine how her life would have been if Amanda had passed away after that accident. She couldn't even imagine it. Just imagine having her lover, having her girlfriend standing in front of her, and suddenly, in one near instant of a second, gone. She could not have stand it at all. But she was just happy to have Amanda did survive. And Amanda, she was just happy that Laura was always there for her. No matter what happened, despite all those things that happened all those years ago, Amanda, she cannot be happier. And this is how Amanda and Laura found a true love of their family together. The